Well, at least now I understand why the box was gigantic. Basically, this is, if you, God, what a shot. Look at that. Because Tor is Norwegian for fire, or sorry, Norwegian for Thor, and Brenner is flame. So it's like, you know, Thor's flame was just metal AF. Yeah.
And you can slide that off, so that way you can use it to wrap up the Torbrenner later. So if you can just slide that right off.
Oh, there we go. Judith Oakteek in the chat says, this is an RPG magic item. I want a stat now. First of all, +1 to fire magic, +2 to charisma, in an improvised bludgeon that you could do. It's -1 to vampires, or Frankensteins. The leather strap that comes, this is eventually what you wrap the Torbrenner in, right?
Yep.
Okay, this is the big moment. Oh, good. Oh, that came out so great. So because cosmically, the Torbrenner just happens to be the exact right size and shape to eat fire. As a matter of fact, it comes with a copy of The Professional's Guide to Fire Eating. And all of this becomes tinder for your tinder box.
Right.
And then inside the tinder, it comes with char cloth, because there's really only two things that you're going to do with the Torbrenner. You're either going to light a cigar, which is why the box is the appropriate length for you to keep one or two of your favorite stogies in there. And so it's a functional cigar box, and it's a tinder. You get the copy of The Professional's Guide to Fire Eating. You also want to be able to carry your fuel with you. And so this uses standard Zippo fuel. All of this etched on here. And we couldn't decide whether or not the R's should always be backwards or just some of the time. And we ended up where with some of the time?
So I think just for the Torbrenner logo specifically.
Yeah, because that's also reminiscent of the backwards BB. Oh, that's great. And it even comes with a funnel to make it easy to put your fuel in there. And oh, tell me about the knife that we found.
Yeah, so the knife is kind of cool. It's got so you can use it for carving your, making more tinder or making a fire stick or something like that. But then that hole that's in the middle, you can fit a good sized cigar in there, and so you can use it as a cigar cutter as well. Yeah,
it's a little cigar guillotine on there. It also has the kind of pendant on there, another piece of leather on there. And so this part, some folks may be confused by why they got just an extra tube.
Oh, yeah. So that is the shaft extension. So if you want to keep your hand further away from what you're lighting, or if you want to have a longer handle on the Torbrenner for fire eating or something like that, you can slip that on. You can screw it on.
Yeah.
So if you, give that a little twist and then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is if you want more of a, I'm holding a torch and I'm going to do this for fire eating, etc. This bottom part is a sneaky place to hold more of the flints.
Yeah.
There we go. And then, so now we actually have a proper fire eating torch. And the flint being there is not ideal. So I wouldn't say that this is a substitute instead of building your own fire eating torch. It's just, if you happen to know how to eat fire, you're going to be able to do that just fine. But we'll talk about the flint thing in a second. If you're going to keep it back in your pocket, you're probably just going to keep it this way, right? And now let's talk through the art that you put on here.
Oh yeah, so when at our shop when we engrave, we use something called a laser marking solution, which is liquid ceramic. And when you heat it, it bonds that ceramic to the surface of metal. And that's how you do, heat resistance on certain spacecraft and pots and pans and things like that. But I wanted the Torbrenner to look more like it was really beat in there. So we came up with the graphic for Torbrenner, which is based off of runes. And then we make a mask. A resistant mask. And then
you know what? Actually, here, you keep talking. I'm going to tee up that video that you made. Before anyone says it, I want to hear boo about your complaining about vertical video. Just tilt your phone and pinch and zoom. Take a look at this.
At my shop, we have a CO2 laser, and to mark metal with a CO2 laser, you have to use a laser marking spray, which is effectively a very thin coat of ceramic medium. That ceramic medium melts when the laser hits it and permanently bonds to the metal surface, and that is how we engrave something like the Rogue's rings. For Torbrenner, I wanted a different look. I wanted something that was more permanent, more timeless. And so we're going to use a process called acid etching, but we're still going to use the laser to get the image on the metal. Hey, so this is me later, after the project is done, and I realized that I forgot to mention a step of the process. The Torbrenner bodies arrive like this from the factory in the raw form. We have to mask them, and the most effective way I've found to mask them is by first coating them in spray paint. Okay, so we've got the painted Torbrenner all loaded up into the rotary jig, and now all we have to do is go. Okay, so here's Torbrenner with the paint engraved away, and all masked up and everything like that. And so now all we have to do is put it in the acid bath. We'll come back in a few minutes and check on it. Okay, we've been cooking for a little while. Things are looking good, so now we're gonna go over. And this is just a bath of a basic solution to neutralize the acid. Easy peasy. And then we rinse it off. Okay, so we've got the mask and the paint all cleaned off of this Torbrenner, and I went ahead and sandblasted it so we could have a nice, even surface finish. And that's gonna be important. We're almost at our final step here, where we're going to add the patina. And we're doing this using phosphoric acid, which is gonna darken the brass, kind of add a natural patina color, but it'll also add a little bit of protection against fingerprints and smudges and things like that, and sort of just tie the whole look together. Okay, we're down to our final step. That last little bit of the blackener really toned things down quite a bit, and I think it looks pretty good just like this, but we're gonna just give a little bit of a polish. It's really gonna set it off. It's got a little bit of a buffing pad, and look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that is a beauty. And the trick to making this look really good is making sure that all of our polishing marks go in the same direction. We don't want too much cross-hatching, because we want this to have sort of a timeless, ethereal sheen to it. But a little bit of finesse, a little bit of patience. Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful Torbrenner. In fact, it's Torbrenner number 1. I think it looks beautiful. It's fantastic. And just for the sake of experimentation, I used some of that standard laser marking spray, that ceramic spray, to do a different Torbrenner body, just as a test. And that looks good, but it's not quite the look, you know? And I think having it actually be engraved, hand finished, hand polished, just beautiful. Just fantastic.
Oh, hells yeah. All right, so I think King Shaggy came late. For doing it as a fire-eating torch, you use the extender on there, and you end up with something, you know, closer to like this. Also, it sounds like King Shaggy knows his salt when it comes to fire-eating. One of the biggest things, part of the reason you want a long rod in fire-eating is because you worry about the metal getting hot enough to burn you. It's not the actual wicking that you worry about, it's the metal. But in this case, because it's all solid brass all the way through, it's an incredible heat reserve that it's a lot like the heat sinks that are on your computer. And even, you know, this size, it's easy enough to eat. And of course, it uses just standard Zippo lighter fluid, or I have, and I believe I did for some of the demo gifts that I put on there, I used Coleman camp fuel. The problem with Coleman camp fuel is that what makes it good as a fire-eating fuel does not make it good as an everyday carry lighter. And Torbrenner is going to be one that you're going to leave at your favorite spot to smoke cigars, or if you are going out, it fits in your pocket like nothing. I mean, it's no big deal. So
yeah, you don't have to use just Zippo fluid on it for it. I've been experimenting with lots of different types of fluid, some that are maybe not advisable, but the Zippo stuff doesn't evaporate.
Yeah, well, and of course, whatever fuel you use is going to affect the amount of flame you get. And just like anything else, you could position all of the wicks so that you maximize surface area. In this case, this one is set. I tweaked it out so that you get a very nice, robust flame. This one, but that's going to burn a lot of your fuel really fast. Whereas if you're going to use it over an entire night, you just want to make sure that you can light your cigar. You can set the wicking. You can tease it out to keep a more modest, conservative flame.
Well, I was going to say, you said you use your fuel fast. So if you got a second, why don't you unscrew the flint cap?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So this thing right here is quite simply a spring that pushes the ferrocerium rod in there. And one of the things I love about this is that you'll notice you get a big spark. That's because it's like a double size. What size are these ferrocerium rods?
It's a 4mm flint. So it's almost twice the, or a little more than twice the size of like a standard lighter flint.
Yes.
It throws a lot of sparks, so that way you can get all those wicks going each time.
Yeah. Here, let's get up close on this. There you go. On this one, you can see that your ferrocerium rod, your ferrocerium rod goes in there. Torbrenner, it's so good. You can control the amount of spark you want. So if you want to, again, be conservative with using up your flint, you can do this, but you notice I got no spark. That's because there's very little spark. That way, you're also not stripping the ferrocerium. But let's say you want to make sure that it lights every time. You can just twist it to get it tighter on there, and then you get a big explosion spark when it goes on there.
So I say, go ahead and have you taken off the flint cap?
Okay.
And take the flint out.
Yep.
And then, have you done that? Is there no flint inside the?
Yeah, no, there is. You can see it's there you go. It's about, I don't know. Yeah, it looks about 1/3 used.
Yeah. Okay. And then while the flint is still out, also unscrew the part at the bottom that you hit against your thigh or against the surface to light it. There's the button, and then there's the thing the button screws into. Take those both off, so you just have just the rod on the bottom, like you were putting on the extension.
Yep. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I got it.
Okay, so now you should be able to take the actual wick section out of the body of Torbrenner.
Oh, wait. You mean, well, what do you, oh, got it. You're saying with that off, oh, you're talking about the fact that everything is removable, everything can be cleaned, everything can be polished up.
So you take that out, and you see there's like that wide part of the top where the wicks are?
Yep.
That's all fuel tank.
So all of this is your fuel bank.
Right. So you can put so with this type of lighter, just like a Zippo or something like that, you're always going to get a little bit of evaporation. And actually, the Torbrenner is a little bit better than a Zippo because it's got a rubber seal around the top that keeps the fuel from evaporating out.
Do you know what I noticed is that if you top it off with the Zippo fluid, when you screw that top on and you squeeze it down, that gasket increases pressure. You can actually watch the lighter fluid squeeze out to the tips on there.
It primes the wicks. But also that's a pretty big tank of fluid. So even with kind of a little bit of evaporation or whatever, you can still get quite a lot of burn if you fill that tank up to the top and get that cotton fully saturated. Yeah, but I guess fortunately, unfortunately, it's such a toy that I end up going through an awful lot of fuel. Yeah, we went to BitCon this summer, and then I drove back to Michigan from Las Vegas, and I played with the Torbrenner prototype that I had the whole way back, and I burned through a lot of stuff just fidgeting with it on that long drive.
There we go. And yes, we have extra flints if you buy it from the store, but truthfully, you could just get 4mm flints in bulk from Amazon.
They're a little tricky to find, but yeah, as long as it's a 4mm flint, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like, that's one of those that's like, hey man, we're just doing the convenient thing for you.
Yeah,
There we go. And so you can tighten this up. And there's also a little bit of the BB logo up on top, just enough to be kind of subtle branding on there. There we go. But man, this thing is going to last forever. And it also, I like the way it gets warm. Oh, you also pointed out that you figured out that you don't have to remove your gloves.
Yes. So it's been freezing here. I'm in northern Michigan, and we got a lot of snow and everything. And I really don't like having to take my gloves off when it's cold out, especially when I've got like a cigar in one hand, I got my lighter in the other hand. I always end up dropping it in the snow, something like that. So the fact that I can just pull the Torbrenner out of my pocket and just light it without having to futz around with anything is maybe my favorite thing about it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Torbrenner, beautiful people. Available at torbrenner.com or at Scam Stuff. That's gear for the Mono Rogue. Oh man, it's a delight. We burned through our first 100 units, and actually, I think as I'm recording this, there are like 5 or 7 left that we're able to do at the launch price of $99, and then after that, it's going to have to be the real price of $149. But lovingly handcrafted. Boy, did we put a lot of thought into this one. Thank you so much, Ryer, for joining us. This is just great.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this one. I think it's really cool.
Oh yeah, no. Merry Christmas to everybody. We'll be back with more live streams. But thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys are super rad. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. No. That's yeah. There you go.
There we go. Oh,
yeah, right.
That, boom.
Yeah.
Just that fast.
And then turn it off.
And just
Turn it off like a switch.
Yeah.
Hit it on everything.
Yeah.
There you go. Hit it on. Oh, I thought you were gonna hit it on my shoulder.
Oh.
Hit it on my shoulder.
Yeah. Well.
Did it work? Hey, it worked.
Fuck yeah, I can hit it on a Mountain Dew. Boom.
I love the fact that we have to demonstrate it. It's real fire. None of that fake fire. What else? Torbrenner it. Torbrenner it up. Bah. Whoa. Can you light it on a dragon? I got dragon issues. You must fight it with Torbrenner.
Bah.
Yeah, Torbrenner it. Here we go.
On this fucking cart.
Hi. That didn't work so well last time.
Boom.
Look at on the bus. Green eggs and ham of Torbrenner.